Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. Here after a Tennessee Titans victory, they defeat the Carolina Panthers 17-10. I was too busy with Thanksgiving weekend activities I could have went live after the Jaguars game if I really wanted to. Didn't feel like it. And then with family and everything, just too busy with Thanksgiving stuff to make content last week, but I'm back for content this week, and luckily we are discussing a win over the Carolina Panthers. Now, as I was saying 2 weeks ago, sorry for everyone that wants to tank and lose out. This team is not going to lose out. It's not going to happen. However, this should have been a better victory. At this point, I can't even say I have any sort of expectations. I'm not in the train or boat of I want to tank, because the only reason for me to really want to tank or lose out would have been for Caleb Williams. But at this point, Will Levis looks like the guy. So, and he's the only prospect in this draft that's better than Will Levis to me, because even Drake May is showing a lot of issues. He has 9 interceptions on the season now. Last couple weeks, he's not been playing well. Shadur is not coming out. Bo Nix, I'm not convinced. McCarthy's not coming out, in my opinion. And there's a whole lot of questions around everyone else. Maybe Penix is better, maybe, but I'm still evaluating Penix. So that wasn't for me or for Marvin Harrison Jr., and we're not going to get the second pick. The Patriots and the Cardinals and the Panthers, they're too bad. They're just too bad. Like, I know we're bad. Or at least we're I think at this point, I kind of have to say we're bad. I think 2 weeks ago I was saying, I don't think we're bad. I thought I said mediocre. At this point, I kind of have to just say bad, but we're not really bad. Whereas the Panthers are nearing historically bad. I don't think they're quite there, but they're nearing it. But their passing offense is pretty historically bad right now. And the Patriots are right now, they're playing historically awful. And the Cardinals, they're bad, but they're going to win a couple games with Kyler Murray. We're just not going to lose more games than them. So one's going to get Caleb, one's getting Marvin as a junior, so that's pointless to me. The only players to tank for are the tackles, who could be there anyway at 6 or 7 or 8. One of them, I know everyone's convinced, in November, everyone is convinced that Joe Alden and Olufusane are going to be gone by pick 6. Okay, you could be convinced of that. Look, I like them both a lot. I'm not convinced. I've seen too many things in the NFL draft change over the years for me to be convinced of that in November. So I'm not tanking for a tackle. Okay, I'm just not. That's ridiculous to me. I don't care if he's Trent Williams. I'm not taking for a tackle. And so you could find if you can't find a tackle at 6, 7, or 8, then you got a problem with your scouting division. That's a problem. Or in the second round, the top of the second round. So I'm not in the mood to tank. I'd prefer it, and we're going to get a top 10 pick. So once you get in the top 10, I mean, really, the 4 versus 8. I've seen a lot of number 8 picks that are better than who was picked at number 4. Sammy Watkins was picked at number 4, best wide receiver in the draft. Mike Evans, who's picked at number 8, had a way better career than Samuel Watkins. I don't care. And Sammy Watkins was a better prospect. He was, and it didn't matter. So the tanking, it's pointless. It's done. Even for me, I was the guy that was saying we needed to tank for a top 10 pick last year because, there's a big difference between picking 11 and picking 21. Okay, and I didn't want to pick 21 or 19. That's a big difference. 4 versus 8. I mean, really, we're splitting hairs here. Who cares? What I want to see is this team continue to have somewhat of a winning culture, to see Will Levis continue to improve. That's what I want to see. So, I wanted to see more of that today, and I did. I saw that effectively in one drive and then the occasional throw and catch. But I'm like, really? We only scored 17 today at home? I wanted more than this. I was expecting 24-17, so it was still 7 points. But I wanted a little more offensively than this. Like the 24-17, I thought the Panthers were going to get like a garbage touchdown late. But considering the fact our defense played pretty well outside of a couple penalties that, by the way, you could argue should not have been penalties, the defense played fine. I'll say pretty well. And now it's hard to compare because the Panthers are just so awful. I mean, they're just so terrible. So it's just it's really hard to. So I think I wanted more today than what I saw. It's fine, but Levis looked really good in that one drive. I think he was 7 of 7, maybe like 60, 70 yards, something like that. Didn't get the touchdown that went to Derrick Henry, but easily could have if he just called something else. No touchdowns today, no interceptions. Just wanted more, just because, we're looking for things to be excited for next year. And look, on that drive, Will Levis showed you, okay, this is why he is the guy next year. It's one of those situations, too, and I know you probably weren't watching the Commanders last year, and I don't blame you for that. Even I didn't really want to watch the Commanders last year, but I have some sort of obligations to watch the other teams in the NFL, even when I don't want to. The Commanders in a situation where they were evaluating Sam Howell, and they were trying to figure out in the last 3 games of the year, which was not enough. Or actually, was it the last? I think Ritter, it was the last 3. Maybe Howell was only 1 or 2, but he showed enough for them to say, okay, he's the starter next year. I think Levis looks better than Howell right now. I know Howell is leading the league in passing yards. Maybe today that'll change. He's in a very pass-happy offense with Eric Bieniemy. They throw way too much. By the way, considering the fact that Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson, they throw way too much. I don't know why they throw so much. So that's why Howell might have more yards. But he's way more interception prone. He makes more mistakes. He's way more fumble prone at this point. I think Levis has more confidence. I think Levis looks better. So I think Levis is already better than Sam Howell. And he's shown me more than Sam Howell. So I feel comfortable about that. I feel comfortable about Levis next year. The only problems I have with Levis today, so he missed DeAndre Hopkins over the middle, or kind of over the middle, of the right side, a wide open with a double go, wide open. And this was a throw that Levis was making consistently. I mean, consistently looking to throw to DeAndre Hopkins, consistently completing to DeAndre Hopkins, was unable to do that in this game. That was disappointing. You want to see him hit that throw. And then there was the occasional high throw or throw to the right or to the left where, he missed a little bit. So this was the one drive was an A-plus drive. It was a great drive. But the production was actually decent today. I mean, how many sacks did we end up giving up? We ended up giving up, let's see. So we ended up giving up only 1 sack. So considering that, I mean, it's a B-. I'm not going to give it a C. I don't think it's a C anything. I still give it a passing grade for sure. But I wanted to see an A performance here. When you're facing the Carolina Panthers, whose defense, they have some pieces, like Brian Burns is out there, but their secondary was really decimated today. I mean, it was absolutely decimated. I want to see more. I want to see more out of him. I want to see more out of Chig. Although Chig actually finally was alive today. But I want to see more out of Kyle Phillips. I wanted some reasons to believe that, okay, yeah, next year things are going to be better. This was not a good game. We had 1 good drive. Maybe 1 okay drive. That was it. Really? Against the Panthers? Really? I mean, I know the Cowboys beat them last week 33-10. So, and the Cowboys beat up on everybody. They beat up on the Commanders 45-10. So, they played the Panthers better than they played the Commanders. The Commanders are better, right, than the Panthers, obviously. So it's not that everyone blows out the Panthers. A lot of teams do. And I felt that we should have been one. Look, they beat the Texans this year. So they lost today. Some people thought they were going to win the division. Now I don't think they're going to win the division. It's still possible. CJ Stroud looks really good. But, the Lions put up 42 on them. The Dolphins put up 42 on them. The Seahawks put up 37. Vikings only put up 21, and I think that was when Kirk was healthy. The Saints put up 20. Falcons put up 24. Their defense can sometimes do fine. I just want to see more. Because their offense, it's really bad. And, it gave me flashbacks to Marcus Mariota. And Panther fans, if you're watching that, I don't mean that as an insult to Bryce Young. I know that might sound like it. It's not, because I think Mariota just got broken mentally, which you better make sure doesn't happen, by the way, Panther fans. That's on the clock. But Mariota, who, by the way, looked better than Bryce Young his rookie year too, to be honest, but his rookie year, he had nothing. He had a terrible offensive line, a running back who did not deserve to be in the league, wide receivers who did not deserve to be in the league. I don't think one of them actually deserved to be in the league. We had Justin Hunter, Kendall Wright. At that point, I guess Wright still kind of did. Dorial Green Beckham, who had potential but was a clown. And maybe Rashard Matthews was here then. No, he wasn't there in 2015. It was awful. So, although Nate Washington, he was done. So, yeah, he had Delaney Walker, though. He had that. So, he would hit Delaney Walker as much as possible. Young has even less. Like this Adam Thielen thing, I know he's doing well for some people in PPR, but he stinks. I mean, he can't create separation at his age. He's awful. Mingo, I don't know what's going on because I thought he was a good draft pick in the second round. Apparently, he's not learning the playbook or he's not getting open. I don't know what's going on there. And then DJ Chark is just he's a number 3, 4 at best. He's just not good. So no weapons, no tight end to speak of. And the running back stink. Miles Sanders is a bust of a signing. Chuba Hubbard can do some things. The offensive line's awful. The offensive line is terrible. The offensive line stinks. The offensive line is dreadful. The offensive line is abysmal. And watching him get bombarded, look, this is what our quarterbacks have been going through. So finally, we've been able to watch a quarterback on the opposite side go through this. Okay, go through seeing, another quarterback on the opposite side go through it. It just reinforces like, oh yeah, he has no shot. So, look, I actually think there's things to like about Bryce Young. I think he hits some throws. I don't see him make a lot of interception-worthy throws, so I also like that. And I think there's more to see there. So I wouldn't go overboard and say anything crazy like, he's a bust. I know some people are going to say that the entire offseason. I think he's playing better than Trevor Lawrence did his rookie year because Trevor Lawrence was throwing a hell of picks. 17 picks, 12 interceptions. 17 interceptions, 12 touchdowns his first year in the league. He's playing better than that. The only thing I would tell him to do is, dude, your wide receivers stink. Your offensive line stinks. So if he has great instincts. He wants to stay in the pocket, and he wants to beat you from the pocket. Screw that. It's not going to happen, right? If you were playing for another team, it might happen. A better team, it might happen. For this team, it's not going to happen. So forget about it. Go ahead and roll out and, scramble. That's your move. That's all you can do, dog. I'm sorry. Okay? You just got to abandon ship again and again and again. Try to keep yourself healthy. Don't get injured doing it. But he needs to be averaging at least 40 yards rushing a game. Okay, at least. And they're not calling him to do that. They're not doing, assigned runs. They need to because they can't move the ball down the field throwing the ball. He doesn't have enough time in the pocket. So they're mishandling him. You need to fire Frank Reich. It's not working. I don't know why you hired him. You're a clown for that. That was stupid. He was done in Indianapolis. He showed nothing in Indianapolis except for 1 year of Phillip Rivers that he deserved to be a head coach. That was a clown show last year. He got canned for Jeff Saturday for a reason. It was over, and you hired him like an idiot. So now, fire him and get someone like Ben Johnson if he's willing to come. Because the one problem is, I don't know who's going to be willing because, you have Young, and that's nice. That's all you got. Because Brian Burns could be leaving. And J.C. Horn can never stay healthy. And C.J. Henderson can never get his head on straight. He got paid $20 million, and he's like, I don't give a damn. I'm buying a Lamborghini. I'm putting my pistol in my Lamborghini. I'm getting a hot chick, and I'm going to get arrested, and you're going to watch. That's his move. Panthers are screwed. So there's a whole rebuild there that's going to take another 2 years. So, again, the fact we faced a team this bad and we only won by 7 points is not particularly encouraging. So I was saying that we were going to win 6 games this year. We're going to win 1 more. I don't know which one. Don't put a gun to my head and make me pick. It'll be the Jags or the Colts. Or the Texans. Or actually, it can't be the Colts. Wait, did we already face the Colts again? No. So it's going to be a divisional game. I don't know which one. Don't ask me. I can't tell you. Just one of those weeks, probably the Colts. They're just not going to show up, and we're going to sneak up on them. Maybe face them next week. They're not going to show up. We're going to sneak up on them, and we're going to beat them. Okay? I don't ask me why. Don't ask me how. And we'll see Jaguars week 17 if they have to win or not. So it's going to be 5 or 6. But it's going to be one more. We're not going to lose that, in my opinion. Is it possible? Maybe. But, dude, I mean, we lost 3 weeks in a row, and that was a long time. Now you're saying we're going to lose 6 in a row? No. Are we going to lose 3 in a row or 3 in a row, win, and then 2 in a row, or win 1 and then lose 5 in a row? Or, it's going to be something like that. I still don't see a lose out here. I don't. Again, I did not like what we see today. I mean, I think we played, the last 3 weeks have been bad. The Steelers loss was fine to me. We were all losing the game, but it was a 1-score game. We could have won the game if we scored, on the final drive, whatever. But the Bucs, Jaguars were bad. And again, we can't win on the road. But apparently we can win at home. Although we should have won by more today, apparently we can do it. So there's going to be 1 or 2 more. And you can get over it. Because it's only going to be like, oh, God forbid. Instead of us picking 4th, we're picking 6th or 7th. Oh, my God. The world is falling. Instead of getting Olu Fashanu, we're getting Joe Alt or Brock Bowers or Lahim Latu. Wow, kill me. I mean, seriously? I mean, come on. We're splitting hairs here. We need an edge. We need a corner. We need a tackle. We need a guard. There's a lot of things we need. So I'm not going to sit up at night crying and hoping that we lose so that we're picking at 4th. We're not getting Marvin Harrison Jr. unless we trade up for him. And I don't think a team is going to trade down. Okay, because as soon as Caleb Williams goes, all of these teams at the top need Marvin Harrison Jr. The Patriots need Marvin Harrison Jr. The Cardinals need Marvin Harrison Jr. By the way, Hollywood Brown is not coming free agent. So if you're going to see him as an example, no, he's gone. And the Giants need Marvin Harrison Jr. They need him. My only thing that we will discuss, and we're going to start talking draft on this channel because it's over. And it's nearing December, and I like to start in December. I don't love the idea of taking Brock Bowers, although I do believe he is that generational tight end. I'm just like, a tight end? Really? Like, he better be 1,000-yard tight end, number one, because Kyle Pitts hasn't been that. Kyle Pitts, he's better than Kyle Pitts, by the way. He's better than Kyle Pitts, but Kyle Pitts hasn't been that. T.J. Hawkinson is kind of that, but he was overdrafted. T.J. Hawkinson was overdrafted, in my opinion. He has not lived. He's a very good tight end. He's a top 5 tight end. Still don't think it was worth the 8th pick. Let me see who was in that draft. I'm sure you can look and make sure maybe he was better than the players that were taken around him. I still don't think. Look, the Lions traded him for a reason, for a 3rd, because they realized after taking him with the 8th pick, it wasn't worth it. If it was worth it, he would have got traded for a 1st, and he didn't, because he's not worth a 1st. So I mean, that's my argument there. Yeah, so they took T.J. Hawkinson, they took him over Ed Oliver, who's now more valuable. Devin Bush, who's not been great. He's a bust at that spot. Jonah Williams, who has not lived up to the billing. But they also took him over Rashawn Gary and Christian Wilkins and Chris Lindstrom. Those guys are more valuable than T.J. Hawkinson. They are. And Hawkinson's damn near 1,000-yard tight end, Pro Bowl tight end. So if you take Brock back, he better be Gronk. He better be Tony Gonzalez. He better be Shannon Sharp. He better be. I mean, that's my only thing there. Because if he's only T.J. Hawkinson or if he's only Kyle Pitts, you can get one of those guys in the 2nd round. This last 2nd round, you see Sam Laporta, what he's doing. You see Michael Mayer whenever they play him, what he's doing. That's my thing. I need to look there's not many tight ends in this draft, I will say that. So we're really looking at Brock Bowers and then Jatavian Sanders, and I'm not even that big on Sanders. He's a 2nd rounder to me. I don't think he's a 1st. He might be nearing a 3rd when it's all said and done. So that's my only thing. We're going to have a long time to talk about that Brock Bowers pick because it's going to be a long point of discussion whether or not we should take Brock Bowers because he probably will be available. I don't think he's going to go 5 or anything like that. I think that's insane. But it's just, especially for this draft. If he was in the Kyle Pitts draft, maybe he would. But for this draft, no, I don't foresee that happening. So, we'll see. So, let's see. Let's see. So else to discuss. So Levis gets like a B minus. You look at some of the other performances today. Derrick Henry. So he had 18 carries, 76 yards, 2 touchdowns. So he played well. The one thing that I want people to think about when it comes to Derrick Henry, and I want people's thoughts on this. So I think we can all say he's lost a step. You know, he's obviously not the bell cow that he was in the past. People, if you look at the analytics, Tyjae Spears is really efficient. He's not a bell cow. I'm telling you right now, if you make him a bell cow, he's going to be Tony Pollard. Pollard's playing well. The Cowboys are not going to win with Tony Pollard as their number one running back. Now, luckily, they now supplement him with Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn. And that's a hell of a trio. So we can get someone else. But my argument is, if Henry is willing to come back for cheap, and I mean, it's very much so on the table. Now, he might want to just go win somewhere. He might just want to be like, okay, let me just go to the Eagles and win a title. And I'll get less carries, but I'll go there. Then let him do it. But if Henry still wants to come back next year, 5-6 million, run for 700 yards, break 10,000 yards with the Titans, I'm down. Okay? Because Tyjae Spears, I'm warning you. He might be a 1,000-yard rusher if you give him enough volume, but I don't think it's going to be as great as a lot of people think it's going to be. I don't see that. I think you have to give him a shot before, because I don't want to go out and draft a running back high. I mean, there's not many that are going to go high. Travion Henderson, though, Ohio State running back, is going to go high. I'd rather have Tyjae Spears starting than it. I'm not sure if he's a better prospect. I'm not saying he is, but I don't want to compliment Henderson and Spears. That's way too much you've put into the running back position. But at this point, I'm down with this next year. With a better O-line, okay? Because it's like, again, they don't have a good O-line that they're running behind right now. So if these two want to continue to work together, when it works, it works. Just something to think about, you know? And then I have to look at the other running backs on the market, but at least he has familiarity with the system. Not everyone has to get rid of their Derrick Henry jerseys. And at least for a year or two. I don't know. Maybe I'm being sentimental. I probably am. But 2 touchdowns, and look, he's still doing well for my fantasy team. I think right now he's running back like 8, and after this week he'll be like running back 6. So, yeah, he's still putting up points for me. And that's without having a great receiving game. This is in PPR. All right, so wide receivers, Hopkins, 3 catches, 49 yards. Could have had a touchdown and like over 100 yards if Levis finds him. So he's still doing Hopkins' thing. He's going to break 1,000 yards. Maybe not as easily as some people would have thought because he's slowing down. But still, he'll do it. Chig finally showed life. Nick Westbrook-Kina, you know, again, he's doing number 4, number 5 wide receiver things, but make sure he's that next year if you keep him. But he had a drop too, which was annoying. But he also had a nice catch on the sideline. He did have to go for a catch that he normally wouldn't have to. So I will absolutely give him credit for that because he didn't necessarily have to do that. So that's true as well. Let's see. What else do we have? In terms of the corners, actually, I should not have clicked out of that. Okay, there we go. Still doing more things. Wiley, get Wiley more involved, getting some reps. Kyle Phillips. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about these Tim Kelly screens. Okay, no more Tim Kelly screens. Or no, I'm not gonna say no more, but holy hell! And by the way, this is not good, guys. Because look, Vrabel's coming back. And there is no way we're getting rid of Tim Kelly, nor should we if Vrabel comes back. Because you can't bring another offensive coordinator in here. You just can't do it. You just got to run with them next year and fire them both. Get rid of them all if you're going to do it. Especially with Levis, since you can't have all that turnover. But, I mean, the screens that Tim Kelly was calling situationally in this game was really, really, really bad. The back-to-back screens, one of which was on like 3rd and 17. What the hell are you doing, dog? The screen on 3rd and 11. What the hell are you doing, dog? The simple thing about screens is this. The reason why they work, or they should work, is because teams are afraid of your vertical passing game. Okay? So the quarterbacks will be sagging off, and you get your wide receiver space, and they're able to make moves. Or running backs. Teams are not afraid of our vertical passing game. So the corners are already up. The linebackers are already up. The safeties are already up. Why are you calling all of these screens? They all get blown up because everyone's already pressed against our wide receivers because they're not afraid. So why are you running all of these screens? That's why it works for the Chiefs, because they're afraid that, man, Mahomes, if we give these wide receivers too much room and we think it's a screen, but it turns out it's a goal or it's something else, we're screwed. And Mahomes hits him down for a 50-yard touchdown. We don't have that right now. We haven't proven it. We have spurts with that with Will Levis, but at the same time, we're not throwing screens with Levis to DeAndre Hopkins, by the way. But, by the way, we're not throwing screens to DeAndre Hopkins. We're throwing screens to Kyle Phillips, who has yet to prove himself as a vertical threat. We're throwing screens to Tyjae Spears, who has yet to really prove himself as a threat vertically, because I think he's caught like one real route. But he caught one today, actually, and maybe another one or two this season, but not many, not to the point where everyone's fearing him yet. They will. Not yet. Teams will not respect your screen game until you first develop your vertical passing game. You can't first develop your screen game. This isn't high school. If it was high school, then fine. It's not. This is the NFL, okay? So the screens, oh my goodness gracious, the screens were pissing me off. And we just can't even throw a damn slant. Whenever we do, it works, by the way. Whenever we actually throw an accurate a slant to DeAndre Hopkins, it's crazy how that works. Why don't you do a little bit more of that? Why don't you try that? Unbelievable. So, we saw more of that. And yeah, so we might have a Tim Kelly problem. He's not great. And again, you have to bring him back. You can't fire him and bring another offensive coordinator in here. You have to hope it gets better. But I think what you really have to hope for is we improve next year, and it's kind of like a Steelers situation where we are winning games, but we know that we have to fire Matt Canada, so we're going to fire Matt Canada. And they're going to make the playoffs. Like, it's rarely that a team fires offensive coordinator as they're going to make the playoffs. That's our best case scenario next year. That Tim Kelly that we're doing better. We might make the playoffs, but we're like, Tim Kelly, you got to go. So I need to see we bring in some sort of quarterback coach or passing game coordinator that I have faith in. Because right now, it's not the case. Pat O'Hara's been here too long for me to be like, oh, this guy's been some sort of good passing game guy for us. So, nope. And then who else do we have on this coaching staff right now that I can look at and say, okay, maybe they have, offensive coordinator potential whenever, Tim Kelly gets fired, hopefully next year. Because he's not getting fired this year. Let's just forget about it. He's not getting fired this year. So if I look at the names, so we have tight end coach Tony Dews would be Charles London. Okay, good. Good. So whenever the passing game stinks next year, I want him fired. And then I want Charles London to get duties. So let's go ahead and line that up. Let's go ahead and get that ready. Can't happen this year, next year. Let's get it popping. Let's get it rolling. Okay? Let's get it rolling. Man, keep it rolling. All right? That's what I'm looking for next year. I want him gone. Okay? If this continues, which I think it will. Because it looks like that's just his scheme. I mean, it literally looks like he just doesn't have good decision-making in a lot of these situations. So, really bad. Offensive line, though. So only 1 sack. The one thing I have to say, so look, I like that Will Levis is trying the hard count. I like quarterbacks doing the hard count. I like wanting and having a quarterback that will do the hard count, that will do these cadences, that will do these advanced tactics in order to get the opposite team to encroach, to get off sides. It's not working. We're too early for that. And that's fine. He's a rookie. We don't need to be doing that. It's a great idea. It's not working. 3 false starts today, all related to the cadences and hard counts. Don't do it. Okay? It's a nice idea. Next year, we'll implement that. No need to implement that. That is too advanced for us right now. Stop doing it. Especially because not only do you have a rookie in there, now you have a rookie left tackle in there. You have Dylan Radins, who cannot get the snap count down, and other moving pieces. We are not in a position to do that right now. Stop doing it immediately. Okay? I don't know why. 3 false starts was ridiculous. Okay, killed a couple drives. Although I don't know if we would have completed those third downs anyway, but you know what I mean. So stop it. It's a nice idea. Will Levis has a great hard count voice. Next year. This year, stop doing it. Defensively, it played well. The only couple players, Monty Rice is lost. He's a bust. It's unfortunate because I liked him coming out of Georgia. Doesn't know how to play in space. Doesn't know how to recognize where he should be in space. Doesn't recognize how to make an impact in the run game. He stinks. I want him gone. Now, he's not playing much anyway because Jack Gibbons and Aziz Al-Sharir are ahead of him. But too many times the middle of the field was open and, Monty Rice bailed in coverage. Monty Rice took on the guard instead of filling that hole. Monty Rice. On that 1 touchdown drive, it was Monty Rice. 2 plays back to back. That cost us that drive. They're back to back, but they're very close. Roger McCreary had a nice tackle. Christian Fulton, I don't even want to actually give any of the corners credit today. That's a little unfair, but it's not. These wide receivers for the Panthers stink. So I cannot give them credit today. I'm sorry if that's unfair. They're really bad. They're really, really, really bad. Thielen is too old and too slow. Mingo is too inexperienced. And Chark is too mid for me to give them any credit. They're just way too mid. Okay, not even mid. Bad. Okay? The word mid is so overused now in culture. They're just bad. So I can't give them any credit. Congratulations, whatever. Simmons. Big Jeff Simmons. Did his thing, getting out to the quarterback, earning his money, first sack in a month, and also contributed to helping out another. Danico Autry had, was it a sack or 2 sacks today? Let's see what Danico Autry had. Danico Autry had, let's see, he had 2. So 2 sacks for Danico Autry, and Arden Key had a strip sack. So it's nice to see Arden Key to get back involved. So they ate against this terrible offensive line. I'll give them a little more credit because even against a bad offensive line, it's not easy as to me. I guess this is debatable. I guess that's debatable. But, yeah, I guess it's kind of the same. I don't know, I guess I'm more annoyed with the corners, so I don't want to give them credit for anything. I think that's what's going on. So, yeah, but, they got into it. Harold Lane, I wish he would have ate on a sack a little bit, but he got a quarterback hit, so, hey, good for him. He got himself involved. So the front 7 played well. You look at our run defense today, too. Only let up 3 yards of carry. A couple of those, and Bryce Young was a lot to do with that. A couple of scrambles that we should look out for. Our middle linebackers, look, I like Aziz Al-Sharir here. Some people say we look alike. But, yeah, he's not that Keith Bullock, guys. No, we're still looking for that. Keep looking. So here's the list. We need a left tackle. We need a corner. We need a middle linebacker. We need an edge. That's a long list. And we need a wide receiver, too, because DeAndre Hopkins, he'll be back next year. He's not going to be a number 1 next year. Or at least he shouldn't be. In my opinion. I think that's pushing it. He should be a number one now, really. But he is playing well. Don't get me wrong. But next year, come on. We can get someone that is like young and is actually good, like not Traylon Burks. Like, let's say we get a first round. It probably won't be first round. I don't think we're drafting a wide receiver in the first round. Now, again, I'm not going to be a hypocrite, actually. It's way too early. Who knows? Maybe by April, Malik Neighbors, everyone's like, okay, yeah, he's a top 8 pick. Take Malik Neighbors. Take Romo Dunze. Absolutely possible. And in that scenario, yeah, I think Neighbors or Dunze would be probably producing more than Hopkins, which I would like. Or you would take like a Tony Mitchell in the second round, or Troy Mitchell. Is his name Troy? Sorry, Troy Franklin. I'm thinking of Troy Franklin, Adonai Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, one of those guys that will probably produce a little bit less than Hopkins, but, actually has potential. And then Burks, forget about it. Who the hell knows if he's even going to play? I mean, just Burks is now, don't even mention his name. I'm sorry. Look, I want you to health up, dog, and I wish you well, and I hope that you can figure it out. You are not in my plans. I am not even considering you, period. The only reason, no. Sorry, no. But if you end up living up to your draft stat, I'll be happy. I'll be celebrating. Until that happens, can't do it, won't do it. So there's also that. Outside of all that, guys, yeah, I wanted more here. It would have been nice, but yeah, didn't quite happen. So little discouraging because, again, I just wanted to see more out of this passing offense at this point. And we had the one drive, so we'll hold on to that and we'll replay that over and over and over and over. And that'll be in the highlights on Twitter/X, whatever the hell you want to call it, all week. But it would have been nice to beat the Panthers a little better than 17-10. It would have, even if our defense would have been a little weak, because I had it 24-17. I would have felt better because I'm more concerned about the offense. The defense can be bad. Last week, it was bad. But I kind of know what it is. Like, outside, the corners are like where I'm like, okay, they need to be replaced. But I know what Autry is. I know what Simmons is. I know what Landry is. I know what a lot of them are. I know who needs to be replaced and not. The corners, I think I want them all gone. I basically, except McCree, I still give him some time. He's only in his second year. But I kind of know what they are. So the offenses were, there's a lot of questions. What is Chig? What is Kyle? What is Traylon whenever he's out there? What is Levis? What is Spears? Today, we didn't get great answers. It would have been nice to get some better answers. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on the Tennessee Titans versus Carolina Panthers. I'll be back this week to preview Titans versus Colts. And even though, I'm not looking forward to that, but this week I'll have time to do a preview. So you'll see a preview from me because it might be the last game we win. And then we're going to start some draft conversations, very preliminary. I don't really want to talk individual players yet, like Brock Bowers or anything like that, but you might see a video or something about that. So go ahead and stay tuned. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.